And that should read, it reads on my copy 2024-10-29 at 1430, I think. You confirm that?
I confirm.
So that's my first date. I've confirmed that the first docket in Cape Town was, or at least that one of the dockets in Cape Town was opened on the 29th of October at 2:30. I then have the next one, which would be at page 305. And that too bears the date of 29th of October 2024 and inserted a timestamp of 1430.
I confirm.
The third then would be at page 308. And that once again is 2024 October 29 at 1430.
I confirm.
So now we know our Cape Town dockets were opened on the 29th. I then tried to understand the next date. The next date would be when Mr. Adams, as he indicates in his affidavit, came to Gauteng to open what now we call the Orlando dockets. Unfortunately, I don't have those dockets. I can't put a definitive date on which that happened. Do you, by any chance, have those dates in your docket? Do you recall having them at all? Do you recall having the docket covers of the Orlando cases so that we can determine the date?
Yes, if council can bear with me, I can just check quickly.
Okay, if it's not too far, because otherwise we could park it and go to the next date. Because the next date I deal with takes into consideration the Orlando docket. So we know it will be between the 30th of October and this next date I'm going to deal with. Then during lunch we will check for the actual dates.
No problem.
I'm trying to save time because we've lost quite a bit. Okay, then the next date I have, we're still with MK15. We start at page 281. These are a series of emails that run until page 284. These have nothing to do with you. If you've never had sight of them, it's accepted. I don't expect you to comment about them, but you remember we're just trying to establish the timeline of different events. Now, if we, and we know with emails, we start from the last and work our way backwards. That's how they come out when they are printed. So our first email starts at page 283. At the bottom of 283, it's an email from somebody. It's addressed to Minister Mkunu. It's dated 1st of November 2024 at 8:21 in the morning.
Correct, Chair.
And if you flip over to page 284, it is from Honorable Fadiel Adams. Now, that email reads thus. I have opened to Minister of Police. I have opened cases in the Western Cape on a number of senior subs personnel as per following case dockets as per Grand Central. Then he provides them. Second point, I was told that the dockets were intercepted. In my quest for justice, I traveled to Gauteng and opened following dockets as per Orlando SAPS. Then he provides a detail. The detail provided there, we can tell from the cast numbers that they too in Orlando were opened in October. You confirm that?
I confirm.
Then he continues, however, I've also been notified that the Gauteng Police Department has followed the same modus operandi as the Western Cape PC and is interfering in the investigative process. I apologize. I urgently and humbly ask the minister to intervene and ensure the integrity of the investigative process is maintained to ensure a fair and just outcome. So that's our next date. First is the 29th of October, when they are opened in Cape Town. The next is that date yet to be determined in October, when they are opened in Orlando. and the 1st of November is a complaint to the minister regarding interference or interception of both sets of dockets. Now, if you stay on page 283, the email above is now an email from Nkabinde CM. When General Mkwanazi testified, he advised that Nkabinde CM is the chief of staff in the minister's office. And you see that is dated 1 November 2024, 0904. And that is addressed to Major General Sibula and Brigadier Litoko. Subject line is charges laid by NCC. And Mr. Nkabinde writes as follows. I read the body of the email, second paragraph. The ministry has received this complaint from the Member of Parliament. In order for the ministry to respond accordingly, please furnish this office with a report in responding to this complaint and the details of the investigating officer who was assigned to investigate these cases. Your report is expected on Monday, 4th November 2024 at 1500 hours. So the Office of the Minister immediately acts upon this and directs the complaint to be dealt with and directs that complaint to Major General Sibula and Litoko. We need not concern ourselves about who they are, but that's what the email tells us. Then if we go back to page 282, at the bottom is now an email from somebody within SAPS. It's dated still the 1st of November 2024 at 11:45. And it is addressed to complaints nodal point, copying the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate and a few others. And in this particular communication overleaf, before we go overleaf, at the bottom of 282, this person informs, kindly see the email below for your urgent attention, and important, feedback must reach the Office of the National Commissioner on Monday, 1200, and report to the Office of the Minister by Monday, the 4th November 2024 at 1500. Then still staying at page 282, at the top, it's now 11:59, about 12. This is from the National Inspectorate to a few other people, and it reads, please find email from Lieutenant Colonel Sitati for urgent attention as directed by the National Commissioner. After receiving the email, it was followed by a call to humbly request for feedback to be submitted on or before 1200 on Monday, 4th of November 2024. You see that? Then lastly, at page 281, it's an email from one of the recipients of the previous email I just dealt with, addressed to other members of SAPS, and it would appear in particular to Colonel Van Rooyen, and reads, please ensure that this is urgently registered into N16 of 2017 VS2. Don't have to worry ourselves about that. Further down it reads, please take note and deal with this immediately. Engage the province directly, please. Also note the deadline set for Monday, 4th of November. So our next date is this flurry of activity on the 1st of November, triggered by Honorable Adams's complaint to the minister at 8 in the morning. So by 1 o'clock, I will then, it then records that it is being acted upon, and eventually by the, I don't know if it's appropriate to call them the complaints nodal, but the point where it was referred to as a complaint and with an urgent request to deal with, to enable the original person to whom the complaint was addressed from the minister's office to respond to the minister by the 4th of November.
Ms. Silo, a detail,
Yes.
just in case it becomes relevant, is also to note that the 1st of November, according to these messages, was a Friday,
Yes, I confirm it was a Friday.
and this activity was supposed to be reported on the Monday.
On Monday. And in fact, that is confirmed in the email at page 282 from Lieutenant Colonel Bapela, who specifically requests that the report be provided by 1200 on Monday, 4th of November. So that should take care of that. Thank you so much. So the next day then, I have nothing between the 1st of November being a weekend and the 4th. My next date would be the 4th of November. We have established that's the due date for the report. Then the 4th of November, if we stay with that, an extra MK 15, we go to page 285. And it starts at 285, this particular document, but if we jump to 287, we'll see that it is a report by Major General, Acting Divisional Commissioner, Inspectorate, N.M. Dada, dated 4th of November 2024. It's a 3-page document, and then if we go back then to page 285, where it starts, it's an information note directed to the minister. It provides a purpose, the background, the background is as we have discussed. We know the opening of the 2 sets of dockets. Then there's a discussion, and then it deals with the nature of the complaints in the dockets. Now, if we stay at page 286, it states that at 3.1.1, the criminal allegations in the 6 cases which were opened are leveled against Generals Kumalo, Lushaba, Madondo, and Brigadier Ncube, and are centered on 4 specific matters, namely abuse of secret service account 1, 2, cover-up of criminal incident linked to Valeria case number, it's provided, and there's a note that the docket is locked in a safe at the police station and access thereto will only be available from 11 November 24. Third, failure to address Major General Madondo's results of the polygraph examination, wherein 2 incidents of tax evasion were uncovered. And lastly, practices of nepotism. So that's his summary, the author's summary of the contents of those dockets. The most important is at 287 for purposes of our timeline. And at the top, under 4, recommendation, and at 4.1, it reads, this office recommends that an extension of 10 working days is provided in order for the following to be conducted, whereafter a comprehensive report can be provided. 1, interview the complainant and obtain a detailed affidavit. 2, perusal of all criminal dockets, including Valeria case number provided. 3, determine if any other government department is investigating the same allegations. So this is submitted on the 4th of November to the minister. If you turn, then it's submitted by Major General Dada, and still at 287, you'll see that it's counted.
Looks like, just for
Yes.
accuracy, it's the 5th, not the 4th. It's submitted on the 5th of November. You see that because General Sibia signs it on the 5th on 287,
No,
bottom of that page.
Yes, Commissioner, I was saying it's signed on the 4th.
Yes,
So Major General
on the 5th.
Dada on the 4th,
Yes.
dates it. He's the author of this document.
Yes.
Then the second signature I was going to go to is the signature at the bottom
Yes.
of the same page. And I say it seems to have gone to General Sibia, who signs it on the 5th of November, 2025, with no comments. And then the third signature is once again overleaf at page 288. And that appears to be the signature of the Minister of Police, E.S. Mkunu, MP, and it's dated 8 November 2024.
Advocate Silo, my point was that the minister's office appears to get this report on the 5th. And
Oh.
we see that from the date stamp
I'm
on
with you.
page 285.
I'm with you. Thank you,
So
Commissioner.
they missed that 4 November deadline by a day.
Indeed.
And then on the 5th, the stamp suggests
On
that
the- on the
that's
first
when the
page.
minister's office received it.
I misunderstood you. I thought it was the date on which Major General Dladla signed, so I was reading the 4th. I completely agree with you. It would appear then that after General Sibia had signed, it then presumably got to the minister's office where it bears the receipt stamp of 5th November 2024. And then the minister's final stamp, final signature at page 288 on the 8th of November 2024. Now, where the minister signs, there is a space for comments, but he doesn't seem to have made any comments. Now, whether or not the minister granted the request of an extension, I don't know. I can't tell from this batch of documents. So I then look for my next date. And my next date would be the 11th of November. But that one now I find in a different document, and it's the second annexure that you were supposed to have been given, together with MK15, but unfortunately we're not. It's MK16 in General Mkwanazi's annexure bundles. And that MK16 is a 2-page document, mercifully. And it's the other document you had opportunity to consider. Now, this document it's page 310 of MK15. This document is, if we go to the second page of that, second page of that, it's signed Mtokozi Singh Gabinde, Chief of Staff, Ministry of Police, and it's dated 11 November 2024. Now, when we go to the first page of this particular document, it's addressed to the investigating director, Brooklyn, and the subject line is referral and request for investigation in terms of Section 27 of the National Prosecuting Authority Act, Act 32 of 1998, read with the National Prosecuting Amendment Act, Act 10 of 2024. And Mr. Nkabinde, Chief of Staff, the Ministry of Police, states to the investigating director, and that's Advocate Johnson, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. States, attached here to please find for ease of reference a copy of written correspondence addressed to the Honorable Minister of Police, Honorable Senzo Mtunu, by Member of Parliament, Honorable Fadiel Adams. The allegations contained therein implicate very senior members of the South African Police Service and are viewed in a serious light, and case dockets were registered as follows. Then he provides one Langlakte case and 3 of those Orlando cases that Mr. Adams registered between the 29th of October and the 1st of November. And overleaf, most importantly, it concludes, Honorable Fadiel Adams was advised by this office to await your decision in this regard. So this document purports to refer Mr. Adams's complaint to IDEC, specifically to the ID. You note that. I say you note that.
I note,
Okay, thank you.
Council.
My next date,
I may have missed it. This letter from Mr. Nkabinde refers to a Langlakte case number. Did we deal with it when you were doing the dates? Is it one of the cases?
there are 3 Cape Town cases, there are 3 Orlando cases, and there is a Langlakte case that we don't deal with because the complaints that culminated in the charge against General Kumalo and others seem to involve the Cape Town and Orlando cases. There is also a 2022 Valeria case referenced, but once again, we don't deal with the contents of that particular docket because it's not relevant to the charges. But yes, there is a Langlaagte case. I don't know if the colonel has a better understanding of what that case was about, but we know of its existence.
If I can explain these CAS numbers, it is a mess, in the sense that when you look at the actual docket, it says Valeria CAS 403, 404, 405. It's, from the way we look at it, is that he went to a station and he opened those dockets there, but they were in a different police precinct. So this Orlando station was supposed to forward it to the respective station which it belongs to, and then they would register it under their station name. So that's why when you look at, I see Orlando CAS 402, but I know the docket as Valeria CAS 403 and 404. I know them as Valeria. But when you check in the Valeria CAS system, these CAS numbers don't exist. It's because it belongs to another station, not Valeria. So the docket cover is written Valeria 403, and it did cause a bit of confusion for us because we were looking at and investigating Valeria CAS 403. And when we get to the station, after we finalize everything and we're going onto the system, we find it's not Valeria 3, but a search on the system corrects that CAS number to Valeria CAS, for example, 278 of 10, same month, same year, but just a different station, and both the dockets match with each other.
Okay, all right. Maybe then let me just ask my question this way. The Langlaagte CAS number, is it one referred to in the affidavit, the section 27 Adams affidavit? I guess that's what I was trying to clarify. Where does it
In the
come
section
from?
27 affidavit?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. That is CJC 373.
Yeah.
At paragraph 1 of that affidavit, Mr. Adams refers specifically to the Cape Town cases with their CAS numbers. And beyond that, at paragraph 8, yes, he states, a few days after I opened the 3 cases at Cape Town Police Station, I decided to go to Gauteng. And I went to Orlando Police Station where I opened another 3 cases based on the 3 cases I opened in Cape Town. I did this to ensure that what I had reported in Cape Town doesn't disappear. I also opened a separate case at Langlaagte Police Station, and that's where he stops. He doesn't say what the Langlaagte case is about. That's as much as we can establish about that one.
So unless there's another section 27 affidavit, Mr. Nkabinde would have obtained this, which contains a Langlaagte case CAS number. Mr. Nkabinde would have obtained this CAS number elsewhere other than from an affidavit. I guess it's a question for him to answer.
Yes,
where he got that.
In fact, I think would have to go to the complaint laid by Honorable Adams to Minister Mkunu on the 1st of November at page 283, because he lists them. And he states there that I've opened cases in Western Cape on a number of senior police as per the following case dockets. Then he gives the numbers, he quotes 3. Those are the Cape Town case dockets. Then he says he went to Gauteng, and then he provides 3 dockets. Those we understand are the Orlando dockets. And he doesn't seem to reference the Langlaagte case. So yes, I point this out to confirm that on the documents that we have, when he reported interference with these dockets, Langlaagte was not a part of them, so he would have had to advise Mr. Nkabinde otherwise than in this trail of emails. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're dealing with the chronology, I don't want to come back to it later because it's at this point that I think this question is relevant. Colonel, I've looked at the description of the cases in the Cape Town dockets and the Orlando. Assist me if I'm wrong. None of the complaints in the Orlando dockets and in the Cape Town dockets had anything to do with the Brigadier Mukwele case.
So can I respond?
Yes.
When you look at the way you will get like in one docket, there's 2 or 3 allegations in one. It's mixed up, and then it's like nepotism, and it's in another docket. It's all mixed up. But I'll have to look at the actual docket itself on what you're
Because
saying.
remember, they were opened in October 2024.
Yes, sir.
And there's one about nepotism, but it relates to the other kernels in crime intelligence. That's what the story is. And there's complaints about defeating the ends of justice. That's what the other complaint is about in the dockets. But there was no case opened, either in Cape Town or in Soweto, Orlando, of corruption and fraud relating to the appointment of Brigadier Mukwele.
I'll have to just check on that, so because I think when we're looking at Orlando and Valeria, because I'm sitting with Valeria.
It doesn't matter whether it's Orlando or Valeria. The point is it was in October 2024, we've established that. And I'm saying in October 2024, no case was opened saying the appointment of Brigadier Mukwele was fraudulent or there was corruption in that.
Yes, specifically, if I can recall, sir, subject to correction, in the docket or the affidavit that was there was no specific name to a brigadier or anything, just nepotism and family members and stuff like that that was mentioned.
And because she had not been appointed at that point, so
Yes.
the cases that were opened in Cape Town and Orlando related to this complaint that you see in the Section 27 affidavit that all the colonels, he says it is concerning to note that all the colonels employed in crime intelligence, none of them are suitable for the post to which they are appointed.
Commissioner, where are you reading that from?
I'm reading the Section 27 affidavit, paragraph 4. Colonel, maybe we can do this in
it's
the
fine. It's fine, sir, I'm with you.
Yes, in the interest of time. If I am wrong that the Cape Town cases and the Orlando cases did not concern the complaint about the appointment of Brigadier Mukwele, you can, after lunch, I assume you would have looked at this after lunch, you can say to me,
Yes.
Commissioner, you are wrong. That was one of the complaints in the dockets, or you are correct. None of the dockets had to do with that case.
Yes. I will respond to you then, sir.
All right.
We've made a note of that, Commissioner. We'll look into that. So the next date I'm able to locate is the date of the 20th of November. And now I ask us to go back to MK 15. So we are done with MK 16, which is that referral letter, quote unquote. We'll come back to it in a different context, but for the moment, at least we've established a particular date there. My next date I could locate is the 20th of November, 2024. And that date is at page 289 of MK 15. And if you go to page 291, it bears two names. It's signed, it's the name of Lieutenant General Jacobs, but then it appears to be signed by Major General Gladler, who affixes his stamp there, and it's dated the 20th of November, 2024. You see that?
Correct.
So I'm not going to quibble about whether or not Major General Gladler was authorized to sign on behalf of General Jacobs. That's not the point, it's just the date I'm interested in.
Correct.
Below that, it looks like there is space for the Divisional Commissioner Legal Services, S. Chamani, to sign, but no signature is appended.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if we look at this information note, it states at page 289, under background, it summarizes the essence of the respective dockets. At 2.2.1, it says a report was compiled wherein the allegation that there was interference from both the provincial offices were reported and found to be unfounded. And then if we go over leaf at 290, it gives the background, the discussion, basically summarizing the gist of the complaints. But I'm interested for our purposes at paragraph 3.3. As part of the protocols to address service complaints, an affidavit is obtained from the complainant. Colonel Phillips of this office was tasked to obtain the affidavit. However, after numerous attempts, it seems as if the complainant is evading the request. Please find Colonel Phillips' affidavit as proof hereof. You can jump then ahead at 292. That appears to be the affidavit of Colonel Phillips. It is what it is. Now, at 292, that's the affidavit of Colonel Phillips. Staying with this particular document, at page 290, it concludes with a recommendation at 4.1 and states, due to the sensitive nature of the allegations which has been widely announced by the complainant, it is imperative that before any criminal investigation is launched, your office peruse the affidavits to provide a legal opinion on whether the element of a crime exists and to advise on a way forward. And over leaf at 4.2, the author states, if your office is in support of the request, please find the dockets for perusal. So we are now on the 20th. On the 20th, within...
And this is addressed to?
And this is addressed to the Divisional Commissioner Legal Services.
SAPS.
SAPS, within SAPS. My understanding of this chain of correspondence is the inspectorate is still seized with the complaint and trying to establish facts and to determine the complaint as proffered by Mr. Adams. And for that purpose, at this point, they are now seeking a legal opinion internally from the SAPS Legal Services Department. So that's where we are at.
Correct.
By now, they have failed, according to Colonel Phillips, to meet with the complainant, being Mr. Adams. And most importantly, before we leave this document, in 3.2, it notes, and I quote, the affidavits in the dockets are basic and in the opinion of this office lack the elements of a crime. The author expresses that view, sends the dockets to legal services and say, can we get an opinion whether or not what is in the dockets discloses a crime? You agree with that?
Crime was in 3.1.
Yes, as summarized under 3. I don't know the crimes.
Yes.
Because 3.1 has got a number of complaints.
Yes.
As I read them out from the other document, but those are basically the crimes. It would appear they were able to deduce from the contents of the respective dockets.
Yes.
Expresses a view, as I say, at 3.2, it says the dockets are basic and in their opinion lack the elements of a crime, but directs all the dockets to legal services for an opinion. Okay?
That's correct.
Then we get to our next date, and our next date is the 21st of November. That is the date on the referral affidavit of Mr. Adams. We dealt with it. Annexure CJC 373. Commissioner, that's file 2, page 512, CJC 373. So while all this activity takes place within the inspectorate to get to the bottom of these issues, then according to this document, Honorable Adams files his referral to IDEC. According to the document, the date on the document.
Correct.
And-
The document is dated the 21st of November 2024.
Indeed.
That's on the document.
Yes, thanks.
When was Mr. Nkabinde's referral? The date?
MK 16, that is dated the 11th of November, 2024.
So it would have been before the date of Mr. Adams's affidavit?
Indeed.
Thank you.
According to the documents, yes. Then we have the 6th of December. And on the 6th of December, we know from your testimony that that is when the team was briefed about the complaint received by IDEC. And if I recall, that's when the investigation team was constituted, and you learned that you were one of the investigators or the lead investigator. Correct me anywhere that I am wrong.
The preliminary investigation was approved on the 6th.
Okay.
So maybe on the day after or a few days after, the team would have been briefed. I cannot say that on the 6th of it unless I go back and look at my notes. So what I would answer you this way is that the preliminary investigation approval on the 6th of December, and we would have been briefed within that short period after that approval.
Oh. So I guess you would have to look at your notes to say definitively, you could have been briefed on the 6th, on the 7th, but from the 6th.
That's correct,
Okay,
Councillor.
I think that's fair. Staying with MK15, before we do so, this is where I need your help in the timeline. You are now, the preliminary investigation is approved on the 6th of December. You are briefed 6 or 7 or shortly thereafter.
Yes.
What is the very first step you take once you are briefed? And when?
In the briefing, we get a complete overview.
Yes.
Or rather, a complete briefing on the investigation, what we need to do, who's going to do what are the scenarios, who's going to do what, and then we start from there. So basically what you're looking at here is that we'll start subpoenaing documents, looking for witnesses, engaging with the complainant. From that's how it will start.
So at this point, you have not called for the dockets themselves at this early stage?
I cannot recall, I'm about sure those dockets were requested in December.
You say you are not sure?
Yeah, I think this is subject to correction.
Yes, of course.
Right, but I know that those dockets were requested because we have them.
Now, do you recall who they were requested from and how? Was it in writing? And if so, is that request part of your docket?
Chair, Councillor, Commissioners, I don't know in what form they were requested, and if those dockets were requested by another investigating officer who was tasked to get hold of the dockets. So he would have handled getting the dockets from wherever it was, etc. I have no knowledge of that.
And who would be that investigator?
It's investigator Rapesu.
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 I take it he would have been reporting to you because you are the lead investigator. Did you instruct him or direct that he request the dockets? Or he did so on his own volition?
Remember, as I said, it's not just one investigation, it's a broad investigation. After the broad investigation, there's specifics. So the tasking is given by Chief Perumal to Rapetsu. Go and collect the dockets. That's what would happen.
So there would be that instruction to collect, and then what? Disseminate the dockets amongst the various investigators. How does it work once they're collected?
Trace the dockets, find where they are, get hold of the dockets, bring it, let the team sit with it, let's look what's in these dockets, and then we'll be further briefed by the chief.
To your knowledge, at this point, had there been any engagement between IDEC and SAPS generally about these dockets at all by the 6th of December?
During December, there was engagements like...
No, I'm interested in the 6th specifically.
I cannot remember, a specific date, but what I'm safe to say is during December, there were engagements with SAPS with regards to the dockets, to get these dockets, case dockets that were open. Where are they? And then get the dockets so we can see what is in the dockets. So you would have went to the police station, and from the police station tracked, where are the dockets from there.
I ask this because if you turn to page 300 of MK15, that is a screen grab of WhatsApp communication between DPC, I don't know, Detective Major General Kumalo, I think. If you look at that screen grab and you keep your finger there, and let's go back to page 272. You don't have to. At 272, as part of the list of annexures, at item 2.6, that is described as WhatsApp message to Major General Kumalo, Gauteng DPC, crime detection.
That is correct, 2.6.
That's 2.6, yes. So that 2.6 is our screen grab. And that screen grab reads thus, or the communication there, it's dated the 6th December 2024. Good day, General. Please let me know when I can call. It is in connection with the Fadiel Adams dockets. IDEC is here with me pertaining to the dockets. So IDEC would seem to be at the inspectorate by the 6th of December.
According to what I see from,
yes,
from the documents and the date, then the 6th. Rapetsu, who went to fetch the dockets, must have went on that same day, which means that the briefing would have taken place on that particular day too.
Okay. So, and here I guess I call for logic. How would Mr. Rapetsu know where they are on the 6th? How did he know that they were at the inspectorate?
Councillor, I think it's something that's best asked for him.
Yes.
What he would do, but if you're asking me, I'm giving an opinion.
Yes, I accept that.
My starting point will be the police station. Go and see the branch commander, station commander, then the branch commander, and where is this docket, what is the status of it. That's what I would do, but I don't know what he did going and how he went about it.
Did he have any specific role in your investigation?
Remember, as I indicated initially, there's the team of investigators. One will assist the other, and one will carry the docket. So with Rapetsu, And as I indicated, there were several dockets. So with Rapetsu, he assisted on the first one and the second one, meaning with the Brooklyn CAS for 542, which the appointment of Mokwele. His starting point was getting the dockets, and I know that he worked on the Lushaba matter. Thank you.
Yeah, my question was whether or not he worked on your. My question was whether he worked on your investigation.
He would have assisted.
In what capacity and how?
If there was perhaps maybe a subpoena or fetch something or whatever, it's assistance to it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Is he, just for interest's sake, so I can understand, is he a junior to you?
Yes.
Okay. So for purpose of this particular investigation, he would have been somebody who's rendering assistance to you, and he executes such duties as you direct.
Yes. But just to go back again, it's not me giving him directions and instructions. It's the chief that gives the instructions as to what we have to do. And then on my particular case, he assisted, and wherever assistance was needed, he will be tasked on it.
Okay. But you didn't ask him to go retrieve the dockets from the inspectorate?
That's not my tasking.
So I guess he's best placed to answer who had instructed him and how that person knew where they are.
Correct.
Regard being had to the fact that the preliminary investigation is approved on the 6th, and on the very 6th, already Mr. Rapetsu is at the inspectorate.
Yes.
My next
sorry. Just to understand this, Colonel, are you suggesting that the chief investigator at every turn would be the one giving instructions for whatever was necessary to be done, to then be done? You are the lead investigator, so I do not quite get it why, for example, on simple issues like leg work, because it was basically leg work for Mr. Rapesu to go find the dockets. I do not understand for something like that why it would not be you giving the instruction. At every turn, the chief investigator must give instructions at every turn.
Can I respond?
Is that what you are saying? Or if that's not the case, what would be the instances where the chief investigator would give instructions? And what would the instances be where you would be the one giving instructions to whoever you had to give instructions?
Thank you, Chair, Commissioners. At the start of the investigation, remember there's a number of allegations, and so the specific, like for example, the dockets, now he's got that, but with the particular docket that I am working with, if there's something I need in that, I would task him. It does not mean the chief, I must go to the chief to tell him. He's working with me, we are together, and he's assisting on it. So I can say, you know what, do a section 28 there, or get me this, that. I don't mean that every time I need him or somebody else, it has to go through the chief. The chief is just there to brief on the different investigations. This is yours, you handle this, and it goes forward from there. And then obviously the feedback will go, and the monitoring of the process will go channel back to him.
So with regard to the fetching of the dockets or retrieval, would the chief have been involved because there was more than just your docket?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And before we leave this particular annex, Chair, just to record that it's dated the 6th of December 2024, as I indicated, with a timestamp of 1456. You see it on the first message. The main message follows at 1458. So we're around the 3 p.m. time mark.
Correct, I note the time.
My next event Now, whether or not, if I may say, Mr. Rapetu obtained the dockets, I do not know. I don't, and when he did so, I don't have a date for that. Would you, by any chance, know whether he did manage to locate the dockets, and if so, when?
Chair, Commissioners, I would not know a specific date when he got the dockets, but I know he did get the dockets because I
Yes.
saw the dockets.
When did you see them?
December.
Give a rough estimate.
I'm not too sure when.
Okay,
And
but it was in
I'm
December
recalling
still.
quite deep into my memory, so I'm not too sure when, because he had those 6 or 7 dockets with him.
Okay, I'll accept that. My next timeline, we are now back into sub-internal systems, staying with MK 15293. This is, if you go to page 296, it's a document dated 11 December 2024, signed by the Divisional Commissioner, Legal Services, Lieutenant General Chamani. And if we go back to 293, which is the start of the document, on my reading of this document, which of course may be wrong, this is the legal opinion that was sought internally within the inspectorate regarding the dockets.
Yes,
Okay,
the document itself.
the document itself. Now, this is the last of the documents as I have to establish a timeline, because my next date is the 6th of January 2025, which, as we know, is the date on which Chief Perumal obtained this A1 statement from Mr. Adams.
Correct.
So that's where I end. So I take it, is it fair to assume that by the 6th of January 2025, you at least had the contents of the docket, of the dockets? You had familiarized yourself with the contents of these various dockets?
Yes.
Okay. We have dealt with Mr. Adams's A1 statement, and I think we can agree that it's rather sparse on fact. We dealt with that yesterday. It just has the 2 paragraphs,
Yes.
Mr. Adams' statement,
Yes.
where he speaks of manipulation of
Yes.
processes, and then how the other kennels were prejudiced thereby.
Correct.
You seemed to strain your ears when Ms. Sillo said that affidavit, that A1 statement is sparse on the facts. You heard that part?
The paragraph 2 and the paragraph 3, that I can recall.
No, it was even before that. Ms. Sillo said that A1 statement is sparse on facts. Did you hear that part?
No, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I thought so. I saw you straining your ears.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I said. Do you agree with me that it's rather thin on facts, that A1 statement?
The A1 statement of Mr. Adams.
Yes.
It's an allegation.
And I want to know, I'm more interested in how much it assists with establishing facts, and I'm saying it is rather thin in that regard.
It's a fact what he said. but
We're talking
it's an
past one another. We're talking past one another. I'll try again. Let's go to it. I think it's easier. It should be your CJC 377, which is at file 3, starting at page 681.
Towards the back. There you go.
Have you located it? CJC 377, starting at page 681.
That's correct.
We dealt with it yesterday. It's got the cover page, 2 pages. The actual statement starts at page 683. You recall in dealing with this affidavit, it's a 2-page document. We concluded that the issues are addressed specifically in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. That's all it tells you. The other paragraphs are either introductory or they give a conclusion by the deponent. So our key paragraphs are paragraphs 2 and 3. And that's all it tells us.
Yes.
And it is on that basis I say, if that's the totality of it, it is rather sparse on facts. It's very thin on facts, this document. Would you agree?
The paragraph 2 and 3.
Yes.
It's when I read it, and as I explained previously, it's an allegation, a serious allegation. And what I see here is an allegation.
Yes.
There's no fact in it.
Yes.
It still has to be investigated
Yes.
further. Thank you.
So I'm saying, yes, there are allegations, but those allegations are not based on any stated fact here. There are no facts to support the allegations expressed here.
It's an allegation at that time on the document.
Okay, does it have facts, this document? Sorry, Chair.
Let me take you through this one by one. It says that higher-ranking police officials were involved in, open quote, manipulating promotions. Even though that purports to be a fact, it is a concluding fact, as it were.
Yes,
You would have to state facts, concrete facts that make you come to the conclusion that this was manipulation.
yes.
Otherwise, standing on its own, it's bare and basically says nothing. Do you understand that, and do you agree?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, that's the point that Ms. Sillo is making. And then they say manipulated and security, also manipulating security vetting processes to unduly benefit a civilian. On the same kind of logic, that applies here as well. Because you would have to establish what the facts behind saying that you are manipulating security vetting processes to unduly benefit a civilian. Otherwise, you know nothing.
Yes.
So you agree, it's bare, it's thin on facts. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it as it is there.
That's the point. That's the point Mr. Law is making.
Yes, Commissioner. The who and the what is still missing from there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, Chair. Then we found each other. So this was, you get this A1 statement on the 6th of January or soon thereafter, 2025.
2025.
Yes, or soon thereafter. And at that time, you are armed with the dockets. I would like to believe you said you received them sometime in December.
That's correct.
Are you able to say what conclusions you drew based on the contents of the documents and this affidavit to inform whether or not a case had been made out for an investigation?
When I looked at the affidavit and I looked at the docket, and as I said, the docket had sparse information on it, and I'll just must say how I looked at it and how I investigated it. So when you look at the docket, it's got sparse information, and it's not going into who by name, how. There's the who's and the hows that are missing from it. And when you look at the affidavit, as Chair mentioned, there's the who and how that's not here. So when I look at that now, I take that as a preliminary that this is an allegation that's been made. I need to now go and investigate and confirm what this is right, who this particular post or appointments or whatever, further investigation to get more information. So they therefore went about to get the documents, but I do not want to go further. I'm just saying to you that the information on the docket itself, the initial documents, was the complainant would have to be interviewed again. What are you talking about? So from that, there's a second affidavit that is now taken on this specific regarding this appointment process. But still, there are things that are missing from here that need verification and investigation. So not on this now, you can go now and take it and just start arresting. You got to look at it, investigate it. Is there something there? And you work from there.
Okay.
Progress from there moving forward. Thank you.
So we have the benefit of the A1 and we know what the A1 states. What I don't have is the benefit of the dockets. So regard being head to the A1 statement and what it tells you, what other extra information did the respective A1 documents in the dockets inform you?
The initial A1 on the docket, I'll just have to call it up just to refresh.
No, we can do that over lunch, but I just wanted a summary of what facts did you glean from those dockets?
The initial docket just talks about General Kumalo, if I can recall, appointing family members and friends in positions at crime intelligence. So that's what it basically, so it was basically, just nothing really there. It needed more information.
Yes.
So when you look at the docket, you needed to take the docket and interview this person. What are you talking about here? Because you are saying different things. I think an incident there, an allegation here. Let's put it into context. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay. I ask this because I'm trying to reconcile it with where the legal department of subs ended, considering the same dockets. And for that purpose, I'm still in Annexure MK15 at page 293.
290.
293.
293.
This, if we go to 296, you'll see that we have touched on it. It's dated the 11th of December 2024. So this is where the legal department lands with nothing but the content of the respective dockets. That's just my summary of what this document is about.
Yes,
you wouldn't quibble with that, would you?
Specifically, paragraph 13 that you are referring to.
No, I want to start at paragraph 1, if you permit me.
Yeah.
Now, we can skip for our purposes paragraph 1 and 2, and then from paragraph 3.1, this document addresses the respective dockets. Lists the dockets and gives an overview of what it's about. At 3.2, 3.1, 3.2, those are the same dockets. The two dockets, the Cape Town docket and the Valeria CAS 40410/2024. And I think that is the point you made earlier, because that specific CAS number relates to the Orlando, to what we call the Orlando docket.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
You did mention then that somehow Valeria creeps into the description of the docket.
Yes.
Yeah. So those two dockets, they are the same. At 3.3 overleaf, it states, the complainant states that evidence is available regarding the alleged cover-up of Valeria CAS 38/08/2022. No supporting evidence is contained in the dockets to substantiate the claim or to afford the further investigation of leads in support thereof. That's the conclusion of the legal department. You see that?
Correct.
At 3.4, it states, no details are provided regarding the identity of the friends and family members of Lieutenant General Kumalo, who was allegedly appointed in the division. In parentheses, this would at least have enabled the investigation into the allegations. 3.5, neither the particulars or statements of the senior members of the service who were allegedly instructed to ensure that Valeria Cas 38/08/22 is not investigated, nor the statement of the sex worker are filed in these dockets. Then it points out that this Legal Services Department didn't have this specific docket. At 3.6, he deals then with the next docket. Once again, Cape Town and Valeria, which we know to be Orlando. The complainant alleges that Major General Madondo failed her polygraph examination in July 2024, whereafter the head of vetting, Brigadier Ngube, was tasked to ensure that the matter would not be addressed or investigated. 3.7, the complainant does not reveal the identity of the person who allegedly tasked Brigadier Ngube not to investigate the failed polygraph. Then the next, at 3.8, deals with the last two dockets, with the relevant Cape Town cast number and Valeria, and states that the complainant alleges, quote, none of the people appointed in CI have the necessary skills, qualification, and experience, close quote, and that many of these appointees are said to be associates and relatives of Lieutenant General Kumalo. At 3.9, it furthermore alleges that the Secret Service account was abused by Lieutenant General Kumalo and Major General Lushaba, who failed to pay authentic sources but channeled funds to purchase items such as vehicles for the KwaZulu-Natal Political Task Team. According to the complainant, this task team is a private service to or front for the former Minister of Police, General Bheki Cele. 3.10, the complainant does not reveal the identity of the associates and relatives of Lieutenant General Kumalo, who are allegedly appointed improperly. 3.11, no details such as dates, locations, amounts of or proof of payment are provided of the alleged irregular purchases. 3.12, at this stage, the complainant's allegations regarding General Cele are unsubstantiated and amount to no more than the complainant's personal opinion. No evidence or leads are provided to assist or afford an investigation into the allegations. Most importantly, 4, only the complainant's A1 statements are contained in the 6 dockets. No other evidence is contained in the dockets. The lack of location information makes it impossible to determine proper jurisdiction at this stage. Is it fair to assume that he is correct as regards what was in the docket, what he expresses at 4? That's all there was, just the A1 statement and nothing more. Am I correct? Is that what you found as well?
What is being said here is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I have read from 3.1 to 3.12 technically is an analysis of these dockets and their shortcomings.
Just, can I respond?
Yes, yes,
So
sir.
this is what is in this report, what they say is in there.
Yes.
That as alleged from 3.1, yes.
Yes.
That's in the report. It's more or less what is in the docket.
Yes.
And when you look at the docket, you will find that the appointments of family members is in one docket together with something else, and it's repeated in another docket, as you can see from there, which I said earlier. Continue.
No, I think we agree
we
with
agree.
each other, but I think that you confirm that you too only found the A1 statement in the respective dockets, and it says no other evidence is contained in the dockets. Is that what you found as well in the dockets? Exactly. Just the A1 statements. We can skip the rest for purposes until overleaf at page 8, at page 296, paragraph 8.
Advocacy law, for my benefit,
Yes.
maybe paragraph 6.
Oh, let's go back to page 295. Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. Page 295, same document, paragraph 6. The commissioner highlights that that's a key issue. The 3 dockets that were opened in Gauteng are merely a duplication of the 3 dockets that were opened in Cape Town. No explanation is provided regarding the opening of the second set of dockets on the same allegations but in another province. So, describing the nature of the dockets. We
Can
know
you just
that.
confirm that they were a duplication? They were basically the same thing, but in
That's correct.
Gauteng.
It's the Cape Town dockets and the dockets that were Orlando or Valeria basically were the same.
Perhaps I shouldn't run ahead. It's not. I ran ahead of myself because the contents of this particular document are important. Can I ask us to backtrack to 5, where the following point is made, paragraph 5. In his report, Colonel Phillips states that the complainant's statements were superficial, based on hearsay, and that they did not contain all the elements of the alleged offenses. It further details his communication with the complainant and the attempts that he made to obtain evidence in order to support the allegations which the complainant alleged to be in possession of. These attempts proved unsuccessful. We have dealt with 6, and 7 states the correct charges must be identified based on the content of the dockets in order to determine whether or not all the elements of a particular offense are contained in the docket. It continued at 8, the dockets are sparse on details and based solely on unsubstantiated hearsay evidence, which make it difficult to determine the merits of the allegations and to identify the correct charges. Then I will jump to 13, which is the concluding paragraph. The current information contained in the documents is scanty and too vague to formulate charges against any suspects. As a result, legal services is unable to confirm that the required elements of any offense are contained in the dockets. This is where they landed on the 11th of December. Would you agree with that conclusion on your recollection and assessment of the contents of the docket?
On the contents of the document and what is there.
The dockets, sorry.
Apologies, Chair. Yes, in the docket, as they say.
Yes.
And the report. But on the basis of this report, if the inspectorate, for me, they didn't do their work, because they should have investigated further. They are the inspectorate. The inspectorate does inspections. There's an allegation that is made. These dockets are scanned, but in some of them, they have allegations. For example, in the one that, Chair, just let me go back to it.
Yes. We can start at 3.1. That's where an analysis of the respective dockets takes place.
I will just take you to a generalized one.
Yes.
And that is the docket that was locked up in a safe or whatever, which they inspected had, and the Valeria CAS 404, because it was particularly linked to that docket because it makes an allegation about a cover-up of a case. If they took that docket and they looked at the docket on the Valeria CAS 38, as inspected, if they looked in it and they would have found discrepancies in it, which would eventually confirm that there was a problem in that docket because affidavits were tampered with in that docket. So let's come back to the other dockets. You have a docket, it is scanned, it hasn't got any information.
Before you go on to other dockets, I think you should speak in much better detail than than what you've done now. What was CAS 04 and what was in the docket and what were the discrepancies that you say the inspectorate should have picked up?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm just going to go into, I'm looking at page 292.
292, that's, is it Colonel Phillips's affidavit?
Colonel Phillips's report.
Yes.
When you look at Colonel Phillips's report, I'm just going to look. July 2024, it's an allegation. Major General Madondo failed a polygraph examination as the officer was cited for 2 incidents of tax evasion. Brigadier Nube of the Division Crime Intelligence was tasked not
Sorry,
to...
Where are you reading?
No, he's reading from page 292, same MK 15, page 292. Then at the top, it's Faiz Phillips stays under oath. That's the affidavit of Colonel Phillips.
Yes, I have the
Yes.
affidavit, and you are reading under CAS 403. I had stopped you because you were talking about CAS 404, and I said to you, tell us more about this CAS 404 that you say the inspectorate, had they looked at that docket, they would have seen that there were discrepancies in that docket, that there was tampering with affidavits. You said CAS 404. So I expect that when we look at 292, you will refer to CAS 404. You would read that. That's why I got lost. So can we talk about CAS 404?
I'll start with CAS 404, then go to the
Yes.
remaining.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
the significance of CAS 404 was one of the dockets that we started with. But let me just go to CAS 404. When you look at the docket of CAS 404, and if you see what, is it Colonel Phillips? Lieutenant General Kumala was involved in the cover-up of the CAS 38, wherein Major General Lushaba, the Division Crime Intelligence, where an official laptop and cell phone was stolen by a sex worker. Monies from the Secret Service account was utilized to pay for a sex worker and purchase new equipment. So we have a CAS number, an allegation made about a specific CAS number, and the station and the CAS is given. So Colonel Phillips says he tried to get hold of the complainant. You are the inspectorate. The first thing he would have also done, he would have, this docket, where is it? Fetch the docket, have a look, what is in this docket, peruse the docket, and on perusing the docket, he would have found what we found. That there are discrepancies. Statements have been tampered with, etc., which resulted in, when we investigated the case, this one, we found that. What I'm basically saying to you here, Commissioner, you cannot take something and say, no, there's nothing here, when you have a lead on what to look for.
Sorry, I thought, and maybe I misunderstood, I thought you had said that in these dockets, all there was, the 404, the Cape Town and Orlando / Valeria, you were saying all there was in those dockets were the A1 statements.
Yes.
Is that your testimony? Am I recollecting it correctly?
I just want to get more clarity before. Just repeat that slowly again, Commissioner, sorry.
Did I understand or misunderstand your testimony to be that the dockets, the Cape Town dockets and the Orlando dockets, which are a duplicate of the Cape Town dockets, but Orlando dockets also called Valeria dockets, all that there was in those dockets was the A1 statements? Did I mishear you?
The Cape Town and the Orlando dockets, or what, they had an A1 statement in it, but those statements were very vague. According to the report, they're very vague.